Matlala says Cele wanted R1 million for favours. DA calls for human trafficking investigation into Zuma-Sambudla. And exams are over. Parties begin, but with safety warnings. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN. In touch, in tune, and independent.
Vusimuzi Kat Matlala has told Parliament's ad hoc committee that former police minister Cele first demanded R1 million in cash, not the 500,000 Matlala says he eventually paid. Testifying from R1m'chat prison, he said his sister withdrew the money and that the only witness to the handover is now dead.
He actually wanted R1 million. I gave him 3, and then again I gave him 2, like I mentioned. And the day I decided to stop, I was supposed to give him 300,000 again. But that never happened. It's when I decided to stop taking his calls.
Matlala was also questioned about alleged drug links. He denied any involvement, even while confirming his close friend Jerry Boshocha, kidnapped last year, was transporting drugs at the time.
Not okay of it, but I wouldn't judge him.
He added that the R1 million he loaned Boshocha was for cattle farming, not drugs. MK Party Des van Rooyen is calling for extra protection for members of Parliament's ad hoc committee. He spoke outside Cape Town Police Station after the party laid a complaint against witness Mary de Haas, accusing her of misrepresenting her qualifications.
We can't, obviously procrastinate this matter while our witnesses are being threatened. This will definitely discourage other witnesses, to come to the court and assist the nation.
Van Rooyen says an alleged threatening text sent to witness Cedric Nkabinde supports the need for extra protection. The party also laid a complaint against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan over that message. The DA has asked police to investigate MK Party MP Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla for human trafficking, foreign military assistance and fraud. The party says South African men in Ukraine texted claiming she lured them there under false pretenses to fight for Russia. At least 18 men say she tricked them into travelling to the Donbass front line. The DA filed a complaint in Cape Town today following another opened by her sister in Sandton.
There's a strong motive. The way that she motivates these young men to go there and to undergo the training, there must be a strong motive in this. You don't do this for your own leisure. There need to be a motive. I don't know what it is. I can only speculate.
The MK Party says this case should be allowed to run its legal course. US President Donald Trump has hit back at South Africa for refusing to hand the G20 presidency to a US diplomat. He's now declaring that South Africa won't be welcome at next year's G20 events in Miami and says all remaining US funding to the country is being cut with immediate effect. But the presidency isn't blinking.
In a late-night post on his social media platform, Truth Social, US President Donald Trump has once again repeated his false claim that white people in South Africa are being killed and their farms being taken at random. On Monday, government handed over the G20 documents to a US diplomat at the Department of International Relations. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says South Africa is a G20 member in its own right.
It is regrettable that despite the efforts and numerous attempts by President Ramaphosa and his administration to reset the diplomatic relationship with the United States, President Trump continues to apply punitive measures against South Africa based on misinformation and distortions about our country.
The United States was the only G20 country not to be presented by a government leader at the summit that took place at Nasrec over the weekend. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
The body of Vredenburg teenager Romano Fredericks has been identified more than a year after he went missing. The 19-year-old disappeared on the 3rd of August last year after leaving home for Veldrif. Community leader Norman van Wyk says DNA tests confirmed a body found 5 kilometers outside the town is Fredericks.
It is the most heart-wrenching and devastating feeling ever. Everybody is in mourning. Every single person that was involved in his search, that continued to pray.
The family of Tali Peterson say they're relieved that his wife, Najwa Peterson, has been denied parole. EWN understands the Parole Review Board has rejected her second bid after her case was sent for review last year, following objections from Talib's relatives. Najwa has served 16 of her 28-year sentence. Her co-accused were released on parole in 2020 and 2023. Talib was shot dead at his Athlone home in December 2006, and Najwa was convicted 2 years later.
Her own actions and her own behavior and her own thinking capacity. That's why she was denied bail.
Robert Nwedo has resigned as deputy president of Floyd Shivambu's newly formed Africa Mayabuye movement. His exit comes a month after Noru Babalo Mkinga was fired as the party's second deputy president following a fallout with Shivambu. Nwedo says he'll give his reasons at a media briefing next week. And third time lucky. That's what the MK party is hoping for as it returns to the High Court to challenge President Cyril Ramaphosa's suspension of Senzo Mchunu and his appointment of Feroz Kachalia as acting police minister. Advocate Darlene Pofu, arguing for the MK party, says the Madlanga's Commission's findings don't bind the president, pointing out that several politicians implicated at Zondo were still appointed as ministers. Demonstrators at today's Good Men Foundation March are calling on men to uplift women and stop the abuse. The foundation, led by King Misizulu Kazwela Tini, held the march in Soweto to urge men to take responsibility for ending violence against women and children. The streets of Rockville were filled with Zulu hymns and motorbikes as supporters demanded accountability.
We are here because we firmly stand and speak up quite loudly against gender-based violence and femicide. So we want to be part of this Men Unite Against GBVF march. And for us, we've brought our members and we came in numbers to hopefully send a very strong message out there to other men who are perpetrators. Are you aware that every 63 seconds a woman or child are a victim of gender-based violence and femicide, and the perpetrators are men? So we need to talk as men and call each other out.
And Matric exams have wrapped up. Celebrations are well underway. Thousands of learners are heading to Matric Rage and smaller pens down parties. Western Cape Education MEC David Mania is urging matrics to celebrate responsibly and keep a close eye on their valuables and their drinks.
Police can intervene where there is any reason to believe that there's an infringement of the liquor legislation taking place. It is unlawful to sell or supply liquor to underage people under the age of 18. It's also unlawful to obtain or consume alcohol when you are under the age of 18. So that's an offence, and if the police become aware of that happening, they can certainly intervene.
And congratulations if you've just finished. And that's goodbye from me, Jane, and the team.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.